So, what is enlightenment and why do you care? Because it's important to know what you're up to and why you're doing it sometimes, especially in this area. You'll save a lot of time. Most people I meet who are on this subject usually are pursuing it just to feel better in some sort of way. Maybe you don't like something about yourself, maybe there's just some sort of offness, and you're hoping that enlightenment will fix that, or pursuing enlightenment, or getting rid of your ego, or finding out about non-duality and perfecting that or becoming that will make you feel better. And maybe in the long run, and perhaps in the short run, it will shift something. But I generally tell people, why not try to exercise a little more if you're not doing that, or try out meditation, or maybe get some more sleep, or find some time to do something that you like, that relaxes you or brings you joy. Allowing yourself to set aside the time to do that for yourself. All those things, if you do them for a certain amount of time, it could be a few weeks, you'll notice some sort of quality of improvement, more energy, more lightness of being, maybe a little oh yeah, I feel a little happier. And sometimes that's enough, and that's all you're really looking for in your being. I generally say start with the thing that you have less resistance towards. If you're not very disciplined, it's just much easier to just start with something that isn't challenging inside. You have to find out. You may have to start for a few days, and if you find yourself really resisting this one particular choice that you're making, we'll switch to something else, one of the things I just mentioned. Build some confidence. Start small. But yeah, a lot of times those things are just gonna give you some kind of instant oh yeah, I do feel more confident, better, happier. But if you're looking for enlightenment or non-dual experience, that's something that I'll talk about now, but is a lot more subtle, you could say. So what is enlightenment? Well, that's going to require some assumptions on your part, or some trust, or some allowing me to tell you something. And the truth is, whatever I tell you is only going to be words, or experience, or emotion. And enlightenment, from the angle that I stand from, is kind of a process of self-discovery that maybe at first you feel like you do, or you initiate towards, perhaps looking into the nature of your ideas. What does that mean? The nature of your ideas. So you probably have a lot of assumptions about me at the moment, perhaps. I may come across as strange, or peculiar, or not of the usual. Maybe that's just organically happening, or you feel like that's a true opinion, or true idea. These are all maybe occurrences that you're perceiving and experiencing right now. And you could say that one moment of insight that can occur is realizing that that is just that. It's not necessarily reflective of the absolute truth of this. It's just, as you could say, an opinion, which we can get into, what is an opinion? Or it's a thought, or we get into what is a thought. or it's an emotion. Get into what is an emotion. It's just something that happened. You didn't necessarily like make a plan like, I'm going to think this about this guy. There was something that happened. We can call it an experience or thought and emotion, and we can use the word it came from your mind. But again, these are words. Perhaps you're still judging, like, this is confusing, this is weird, this is, what is he talking about? Get to the point. And this is actually the point, right now. This is the point to really hone in on this natural moment, this natural occurrence, and how we see it, how we feel it, how we think it, and to realize it's not objectively so. It is so. It is something, but it's not the contents. It's not the exact idea you have of me or of the situation. It's an experience, for sure. What's happened is an experience. But then again, what words you apply to it isn't what it is. It's just, anything I say about what it is still a word or a description within this occurrence. And maybe there's like an opening of like a wow or an aha. And you may want to say like, oh, that's what he's talking about. That's it. But no, that there is no exact thing that enlightenment is. And there's no exact thing that enlightenment is not. You may wonder, well, is that mean that there's no meaning to things? No, that's not what this is saying. That's not what I'm communicating. That, again, is an idea of something on top of this occurrence. What do I do with it, maybe, is an idea that comes up? Sure. What do I do with it is an idea that comes up. And that will pass too. But that's interesting to notice, is you may notice in getting into kind of this organic, moment-to-moment focus that you may find yourself being drawn towards, you may want to pause and just look at how you work, how these tendencies are, because you may notice in time that there is a part of the emotional, we'll call it that, process and thought process, which is like wanting to gravitate towards ideas such as, what do I do with this? What's the meaning of this? What's the purpose of this? What does this mean about me? Maybe who am I when I am losing context for things, losing words and exact description for things? And this may be a good time to like implement or use a practice called focusing on your eye. Much like you have an experience and there's a pebble that you step on. You notice that it's on your foot or it's closer to your foot, so you can focus there. So when you have an experience such as like, who am I? Or there's a sense of like I or me, where is that located? Focus on that. Focus on the me sense, the I sense. This may deepen or expand I can't really give you a word, but there may be a shift that changes this moment of occurrence, so to say. Focus on the sense of your eye. Where is this I sense? This me sense? Notice that you notice this sense of me or I. Notice that you notice. Isn't it peculiar, perhaps, that you are something that notices what you call yourself? And not to jump to the conclusion that, well, that's not myself then, but peculiar that there's an awareness which isn't happening from, so to say, me or your dad or your friend, or it's happening, and it notices this I or me sense that you've constantly thought was you, fundamentally. Perhaps it's more of like anything in a room, or a sound arising, or an emotion arising, or a thought arising. The me sense arises in that which really can't be said, but is noticed. This may be something that you'll need to go back to, play again, experiment with, go on the organic adventure with. And again, it's not to attain a particular experience within. It can be invigorating, awesome, alarming, fear-inducing, exciting again, strange, interesting, peculiar. This comes and goes. So I hope you found interest in this adventure, and maybe you'll come back. This is a video that's worthwhile coming back to get a sense of something other than perhaps the conclusions you've drawn about yourself and life in totality. There are many videos such as this, so to say, from other teachers who offer great pointers and insights into this matter. So I encourage you looking into those as well. And with that, we'll conclude the video. All right, take care. Bye.